Well everyone, the Google Pixel 8 has just officially came out, so I wanted to go ahead and quickly take a look at it and compare it against the iPhone 13 and see which particular phone is the better one for you. Now, what's super crazy is a phone like the iPhone 13 is honestly the one that's going to be, one that's probably not going to compete as well against the Pixel 8. Some of you may think that, but that's not actually completely the case. You are actually going to be getting very similar type of experiences between both these devices, which is genuinely super crazy, but there's lots of features for the Pixel 8 and for the iPhone 13, so let's go and take a look at it. If you want to pick up either one of these phones though, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, the iPhone 13 that came out in 2021 on the front has a 6.1 inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. Now this particular panel is actually pretty decent. It's not the biggest size panel of all time. It's 1170p by 2532, but it's a decent panel. It's 60 Hz. It still gets pretty bright, but it's not the brightest panel of all time, and I do think overall Apple did a pretty decent job with this particular display. On the Google Pixel 8, you're getting a 6.2 inch OLED display, 120 Hz, 1080p. There's some advantages with this particular panel though. It's 120 Hz like I mentioned, and it is slightly brighter than the iPhone 13. And you do notice it actually like day by day. It is genuinely a better panel overall than the iPhone 13, which is a pretty important thing in my opinion. Now, some other key things with the Pixel 8, you're getting a hole punch display over the iPhone 13's notch display. It's also, like I said, a brighter display, a little bit less bezel, fingerprint sensor inside that display as well. There are lots and lots of advantages for something like a Google Pixel 8. I think the iPhone 13 panel is still pretty decent, but the Pixel 8 definitely wins here. Both of them kind of have this flat side to them, but the Pixel 8 is not as flat as the iPhone 13. The 13 has that lightning port at the bottom, which still feels pretty good. The Pixel 8 has USB-C, which I think is great. It's definitely better than Lightning, but the fact that the new iPhones have USB-C is also another feature to kind of pick up the iPhone 15s over the Pixel 8 if you really want to stay within the iOS ecosystem. But both of them are great in their own ways. On the back, you are getting glass backs on both of them, and they're both standard glass backs. Dual camera setups on the top left corners. You're getting wireless charging. You are getting reverse wireless charging on the Pixel 8, which is another really cool thing going on with that particular phone. But I think the iPhone 13 still is pretty good. I mean, MagSafe capability is awesome, and you're getting IP certification on both as well. But I will definitely tell you, when it comes down to both of them, from my particular standpoint on the outside, I think the Pixel 8 probably is more of the flagship one, and I've been saying this for years now. I've always felt like Pixels, just not knock it out of the park inside of that build quality standpoint, and I feel like iPhones typically, the Pro models do better, but I've always felt like on the outside, the Pixels always do better because of that display, because of the, kind of the way the phone looks, but also because of reverse wireless charging. Simple things like that stand out to me a lot, and I definitely do think the Pixel wins from that standpoint. I will say though, the camera on the iPhone 13 still rivals the Pixel 8, and I kind of think the Pixel 8's camera is still pretty good for the most part, but I think the iPhone 13 kind of wins here. You're getting the same type of hardware, wide and ultra-wide cameras. You're getting 4K at 60 on the back, 4K at 60 on the front. Very good lenses, I like them a lot, but I do think that the Pixel 8's camera is good, but I think the iPhone 13 kind of wins here overall. In terms of social media apps, things like Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram, the iPhone 13's camera is going to be better and more optimized for those particular applications. I also feel like that the iPhone camera system is still better than the Pixels. I feel like since even the Google Pixel 1, the camera hardware always has been pretty decent. There's been some missed years here and there, but I feel like they need to improve their camera software now. Apple's in the same boat, but I still like iOS camera system over the stock Android camera system when it comes down to it. So that kind of covers it up there. One of the biggest advantages for the Pixel 8 though is probably that software. The fact that Google has now given us 7 years of software updates on the Google Pixel 8 is pretty insane. The iPhone 13 is still going to be lasting for a couple more years, but I think the Pixel 8 is definitely going to win here. So that's another really big advantage for that particular device as well. So software, definitely the Pixel 8 wins. Performance-wise, I am indifferent about both these. And the reason for that is because we're running silicon on both from both these manufacturers, but you're getting that Apple A15 Bionic chip with 4GB of RAM on the iPhone 13. With the Google Pixel 8, you're getting that Google Tensor G3 chipset inside with 8GB of RAM. And for my personal opinion, I kind of do think that you are kind of getting the better performing phone, probably from the Pixel 8 overall, but I do think that the iPhone 13 kind of wins here in some ways too. So I feel like the Apple A15 Bionic chip is still very good, and no matter really what you're going to throw at it, you're going to be getting a solid experience from that particular device. I will say though, on the flip side, phones like the Google Pixel 8 still perform very, very well, and it's a great performing phone. But I don't get it because my Pixel 7 kind of appears faster to me in some ways than the Pixel 8. And even then, like, I felt like the iPhone 13 was faster than the Pixel 7. So I'm not really 100% too sure what to make of this, to be completely honest. But I think as of this point, the Google Pixel 8 is probably going to be the overall better one, especially with that 120 Hz. But I kind of do think the iPhone 13 is still a very smooth performing phone as well. In terms of battery life, I would probably say that the iPhone 13 is going to be giving you good battery life still, but the Pixel 8 is definitely going to be winning here. And in terms of battery features, things like reverse wireless charging is super cool, and that's another really big advantage for a device like the Google Pixel 8. So to kind of sum it up, what I'll definitely tell you is, I would definitely say that the Google Pixel 8 is probably the overall flagship phone when it comes down to it. But like I said, the iPhone 13 is like 2 years old as of this point, over 2 years old, and you're going to be getting things like a cheaper phone, but because of that, you're getting a better value per dollar in some ways than the Google Pixel 8. So take it as you will, but I definitely do think when it comes down to it, I look at a phone like the Pixel 8 and I look at a phone like the iPhone 13, and I kind of do think that the iPhone 13 is a better value per dollar, but I think the Pixel 8 is probably the better phone when it comes down to it. So that's kind of how I'd sum that up as of this point. So that pretty much covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.